All right, folks, today we are here to answer the question, how did we get here?
Well, how did I get here?
Welcome back to the Renewed Homestead, everybody. I'm Ben.
I'm Denise.
And how did we get here? We get that question a lot. And
Even people locally.
Even though, yes. Actually, it's probably the most frequent question we're asked. How did you find this place?
Yes.
And it didn't, we didn't know we were going to wind up here when we started out from Arizona, but it started long before we got on the road, about probably 3 years before that. We heard about a book called Strategic Relocation. And actually that's courtesy of Wrangler Star. He had talked about it and we're like, sounds like an interesting book. And so we picked it up and started thumbing through it. Really interesting. It covers a lot of things you wouldn't even think about. I mean, we're talking about, weather and nuclear strike zones.
Military installations.
Yeah, military installations. I mean, it runs the gambit. Tornadoes, earthquakes, I think water sources.
Amount of snow.
Yeah, I mean, it covers a lot of area. And so we really looked through, and the author's favorite state, two states, Utah and
Idaho, I believe.
Idaho. Idaho's just too cold, and I guess we never really considered Utah, but
No.
we did know we wanted to be in the Blue Ridge Mountain area, Appalachians. I know it's cold. It's cold. That sun is about to go down, and it's chilly. We had frost on the ground this morning. In fact, we'll put in a picture. I took a couple of really good pictures this morning.
Oh yeah, and we actually wanted to show you the book today, but unfortunately it is somewhere in the shop in a box that we just cannot find. So all of our belongings, as you know, are still packed because we are still in the RV because the home is still being restored and renovated. But I'll definitely show you a picture of the book.
Yep.
And there were requirements, and we had actually considered, we did talk about Idaho for a bit.
Yeah.
And we did talk about Utah. We had never really considered Utah, but we did talk about it. And there were a lot of states that we actually considered. I mean, we considered Arkansas and Kentucky and even West Virginia. We had really considered West Virginia, but the issue is that most properties in West Virginia, you can't own the mineral rights, and that just didn't sit well with us.
Whether to sell their mineral rights to Mr. Burns.
So
we want to own the ground under our feet as well. And Colorado is another one that we both really like, and decided that, just the weather is a little too unpredictable for us.
Yes.
I mean, as the wind kicks in.
Yes. Yeah, and the weather was too unpredictable, and there were just some things going on in Colorado that made us a little nervous with regards to homesteading. There are laws that they were introducing as far as when you could process an animal and with artificial insemination, and it just made us a little nervous. So that got taken off the list really quickly.
Yep.
But we had both visited North Carolina before we had met, and both really liked Virginia and North Carolina because we had both visited both states. And then it was funny, I was actually at work and had heard about Asheville.
Yep.
And we actually visited Asheville, several years ago, and really just loved the area. And we just absolutely fell in love with the mountains. And I know you like the ocean though too. He's a master scuba diver.
No, I wish.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Halfway to my master's, but.
So I do want to go diving, but my heart's always been in the mountains though, more than the beach.
Yeah. I don't know if you caught it. You can tell she's been here a little while now.
No, it's Asheville.
She said Asheville instead of Asheville. So there's a distinction around here.
Yes, there is.
But but how we found this place? I know we've talked about it a little bit here and there. We'd looked at these places. We'd been watching these properties. With the 2020 shutdown, we decided we sold the house, jumped in the RV, headed out here.
Oh, that's an RV.
Everything we'd been watching just sold. A lot of properties were going sight unseen, and And our realtor, David, he's like, you got to see this one. This is the first property we saw.
Yeah, we were like, no
Look-
way, we're
look-
buying the first property we see.
No, who buys
But-
the first one? Let's go look. Well, we looked at 2 others and straight up the hill, and really the rest is history. I mean, it's like,
Well, and even before that, so I mean, so we both knew we loved the mountains, but there were still requirements, right? Like our main, and this is one thing with the book. The book gave, I think, North Carolina 3 out of 5 stars. So
it's like 3.5. Yeah. I mean,
Yes.
it wasn't the bottom, but it,
Yeah.
just slightly above the middle. So.
So, but so the book has a lot of really great information, and I absolutely encourage you to pick up the book if you're looking for a homestead or a property, because there's a lot of things, like Ben said, that you wouldn't think of that came up, like, like obviously there are certain areas that, like Yellowstone Yosemite, that obviously everybody knows that there's a volcano there, right?
Yeah.
So, but there are other things that you might not realize, right? Weather patterns that you might not see, or what happens every few years, or he even goes into the growing climate
seasons, yeah.
and growing seasons, and how easy it is to grow and how much water you have. And so for us, we understand some of what he was referring to, but for us it wasn't just about, okay, we want to make sure we're in the, that there's no strikes ever, that we're not near a military installation. Like, that wasn't our top priority. Our top priority was having a homestead. So for us it was, okay, how easily can we grow, especially coming from Arizona, where water is scarce and the ground is concrete beneath your feet. And there are things you can do, but it fights you. And so we really wanted to come to a location that was a little easier to grow, had better soil, and we knew that the soil was something that we could fix, right, if it was bad. But how often a place rains, that's for us, that was a critical thing, was how often does it rain, how often are we gonna have to water our crops.
And as far as rain, are you allowed to
Yes.
catch it and use it? Because some states are making it illegal for you to do rain catchment systems, which
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't want to wind up in a place like that. So.
No, and for some, you might care about Second Amendment rights. Other people might not care about Second Amendment rights. For us, we do hunt, as you know. I know this can be a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Sticky topic, but for us, because we do hunt, because we are on a homestead, because we need to protect ourselves and our livestock, we did want the ability to carry a gun if we needed to. And so that was extremely important to us, as was the hunting. And that was another reason why we picked Western North Carolina.
Yeah.
But for us, a lot of it was usable land, right? Like we've lucked out, and I know we have probably 12 to 14 acres that are cleared. So we've got, we obviously have land that is not cleared that we will have to clear. But the fact that there was already cleared land was a huge selling point for this property. And for me, it was a little more than I actually felt comfortable paying. But we actually found a property that was down in the foothills. And we could have had it paid off in about 6 months, and really considered it. It was about 10 acres, and really considered it. And we went down there, and it was hot, it was sticky, and it just wasn't. I don't know. It didn't feel like home, but I'd considered it. And Ben's like, you know what, hun, we want to be in the mountains, and I think we should really consider that property.
We didn't come 2,000 miles not to be in the mountains and to be hot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that was another reason why we chose here, is we felt that Idaho might be too much snow, but we still wanted to experience seasons. We wanted to experience some snow. We wanted to experience some weather, and we do have that here, but it's also not 20 below in the winter, which was another consideration for us.
Yeah.
Especially coming from Arizona.
Arizona native.
Even though I have come to really love the snow and the cold, so it's still a novelty to us.
We had our first white Christmas ever. I mean, it was really cool.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was magical.
But it's not. It does actually talk about a little bit in the book, is try to know your neighbors, know the community, look into it. We against advice, we weren't able to do that, but the minute we were here, we met the neighbors, and as we've said over and over again, they're amazing. they brought us in. We're all family now, and we just couldn't be more blessed in that respect.
Oh, and then the
So-
friends that we've been able to meet along the way as
Oh,
well,
yeah.
Justin and Billy, Michelle, and
Yep,
William. So
yep. Yeah, really good people out here. Very, very kind, caring. Give you the shirt off their back, literally. I mean, it's it's a great place to be. But again, the point of this video is about the strategic relocation. It really is a good book to pick up. You can probably find a used copy. I mean, now that we're here, I suppose we'll probably be selling our copy. I don't know that we need to keep it,
that's
because we are
true.
here to stay.
Yeah, we're not
Yeah.
moving again.
Yep.
But here, a lot of people ask, well, how'd you find your property and how'd you decide this is what you wanted to do? And I think we both knew years ago that we really wanted to be more on a farming, and then the self-reliance just came a little bit later. I think we both knew we wanted to raise our own animals because we didn't want to be so disconnected from how our food is raised, what chemicals go in, what food we were eating. We didn't want to be disconnected from that. So that was an important consideration for us. And then it just kind of grew from there, right? Like Zach says, with, you prep or, you wind up on a homestead, as we talked about in a couple of videos ago. But I think for us, we really sat down and number one, we prayed about it. Where should we go? Lead us to our property. Like that was, to me, that's number one. Pray on it. Yep. Make sure you're going where God wants you to go, because as most of you know, if you try to fight God, he kind of laughs at you, and you end up, and you fight him, cause yourself a whole lot of heartache, and end up where he wanted you in the first place.
Silly child.
Right? Yeah, he does a lot of this, I think. But
Yes.
but then write down what's important to you. So think of all those things, right? Is growing your own food important? Is raising your own meat important? Is having the ability to go off grid important to you? Is being able to collect rainwater important? Do you want to well? Do you want to be on city water? Which we did not. We wanted independence from that. But there's all these things to consider. So write down everything that's really important to you. Look at strategic relocation, see how that kind of fits your list. And then it doesn't hurt, like we've talked about before, get online, research the state, find out what laws are in place. This is really critical because there are some states, like Ben said, that won't let you collect rainwater. There are restrictions on wells. There are restrictions on utilities.
Like West Virginia, they've most of the land, most of the mineral rights under your feet aren't yours, so they can come in and I mean, they're not going to move you out of your house, but they have the right to come in and dig or whatever.
Yeah, and
I don't know what that entails, but we didn't even want to mess with that. But
no.
But as you're making that list, be reasonable with your abilities too. And like my mom, she would love this lifestyle. She is in a wheelchair. She wouldn't be able to do a lot of what we're doing, but that's why we want her here with us, because we can build her raised bed so she can garden. She can be part of feeding the animals and things like that, whereas we can go out and we can move those animals. And and everybody says it, and I've heard it many times. Don't come in and get all these animals all at once. I mean, we got a few more birds than what we had anticipated, but that's kind of almost a different subject. In our prayers and in our hearts and what we're seeing going on with the world, we're really concerned about food security. So we bit off a little more than what we wanted to chew. We're managing it fine, and with the help of great neighbors and friends like Billy and Michelle and William, they're helping us get established. But taking that back, just keep in mind of your abilities, and maybe you don't want 12 acres. You don't have to do this on 12 acres. If you have 1 acre, you can have a nice sized garden in there. And I think we talked about in the previous video, I don't advise an HOA. I don't want to cover my mic there.
Yeah.
I don't like HOAs. I've never liked HOAs, but
I have a friend who can't even raise chickens because of our HOA.
Exactly to the point. But if you are in one and you're not able to move, quail are very quiet, rabbits are very quiet. So,
there are options.
There are options, exactly. So
Yeah, and then Maine just passed, I don't know if y'all saw, but Maine just passed the first Right to Grow Your Own Food Act. So HOAs can no longer say you can't have a garden, which to me seems so foreign to me that an HOA would be able to do that. But yeah, for us, we knew we didn't want an HOA, but we also knew we wanted to be in the middle of nowhere.
Right,
So,
right.
Like our neighbors are actually a lot closer than what we had wanted, but now we're so grateful that they're, I mean, like God, I mean, like you said, like God just, sits there and goes, no, I know what's best for you. Just follow my plan.
Yep.
But yeah, and be really careful of the animals. And you'll see it on YouTube a lot. You'll see people, and God bless their hearts, they're trying to be self-sustainable. But when you have too many animals, goats, sheep, cows, it really impacts the land, and it makes it so if you've got too many animals on your pasture, it cannot recover. So now you've got issues with your pasture's not going to be able to recover. Now you're having to go in and buy a lot more feed for the animals, like hay or grain, which causes its own issues. And then, like I said, the land cannot recover. And now you've got an issue with parasites. So, and that's one of the reasons that, we're going to go into this in a future video of why we're raising the sheep the way we are. But one of the things to keeping animals in a pen all the time in that same pen, parasites are everywhere. You cannot get rid of them that way because the poop's on the ground and they're eating on the ground and they're picking up those parasites again. So it's just critical. Make sure that you don't have too many animals on your land. And for us, we did things a little backwards. Like for me, I really felt it was critical that we had food security. So we ended up getting our animals before our home was done. And I know a lot of people don't do that. But for us, that was what we felt called and led to do. So that's what we did. And now we have the sheep and we have the birds. And as soon as we get the fencing up, which I know we keep talking about, but we're trying, we've got so many other projects, but I really want to get the fencing up because then we will be getting 2 cows.
Yeah.
So leaves.
It's snowing leaves.
Does that a lot around here this time of year.
Yes, it does. But moving your animals and setting it up properly, they're an asset. But like she said, if you've got too many animals on too small of an area, they're a liability. Like she said, now if you've got parasites, now you've got to buy medicine. You're constantly buying hay because the grass can't recover to feed them.
Which has chemicals, which you deworm your animals, then it's got chemicals, then that goes into the ground and it actually kills oh my gosh, I can't think today, but it kills the worms and everything that are in the soil. So dewormer is really bad for your soil. So,
Right. So
I'm not saying, I understand there are times you may need to use it. It's just if you're using it constantly, then that it stays in the poop and it goes into the ground, and then all of the worms and everything else that are in the ground that help actually aerate the soil and help build the soil are killed.
Yep.
So
it's a snowball effect,
Yes.
and not in a good way. So
yeah, and for us, we don't have enough animals. So that's another reason. I want cows for, milk and butter and cheese and that sort of thing. But we don't have enough animals. So our problem is the 8 sheep that we have, which a few of them that will be going soon. But we can't keep up with the forage that we have because we don't have enough animals.
right.
So
But and stay tuned for the next video. Probably we'll be showing you how we're moving the sheep, and we'll discuss why and all that. But yeah, we keep talking about getting the fencing up for the cows. But like this weekend, we focused on getting the internet run from the house to the well to the well house, and the well house to my shop, because we do need internet out there for both my work and other activities going on. And
yeah, maybe we should do a video on that. How we saved about
about $600.
About
we saved.
$600 plus the $70 a month bill by doing that. So
And if you have a problem getting blisters, this is not the lifestyle for you.
yeah, yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, but so I would just say check out. We really wanted to talk to you because we've been asked a lot how we found our property, how we chose Western North Carolina, and I would encourage purchase Strategic Relocation. Just because, like we said, there's going to be things you're not going to have considered. Do your research. Make sure that the state that you are going to move to allows you to do the things that you want to do. Like I said, in Colorado, and I don't know what's going on with that bill, but the fact that they were trying to make it so it was illegal to do artificial insemination and that the animal had to live a third of its life before you could process it. Well, we're going to get Dexters or Belfairs. I really want the Belfairs, which is a Dexter mini Jersey cross. But like, I mean, some of those live 20 plus years. So now you're talking a third of their life before you can process. That's not really homesteading. And what if the animal needs to, I mean, there are times when an animal needs to be put down, which has its own issues. So so that's why we definitely absolutely steered away from Colorado because of that. But check those laws, make sure it's a homesteading supportive state, because you don't want to move to a state that's not going to support the lifestyle you want.
Yep.
Yeah.
I had another thought, but
All right.
it just went, it froze out of me.
Oh, it's not that cold. It's cold, but it's not that cold.
It's cold.
I took my gloves.
Yeah, I know. Okay, so while you're doing your research, you know, and in the book and online and all that, just make sure the property that you're looking to purchase can do what you want to do. You know, if it's heavily forested and it's straight up, you know, are you going to be able to clear any of that or enough to do what you want to do? You know, look into that. You know, you're going to want to get inspections if there's a well and those kind of things. And we had our water tested and all that. And, you know, and as I had said before, you know, if this is a dream of yours, you know, do it, make it happen. You know, I know it's easier said than done, but, you know, we took the plunge and we're like, you know, we had things holding us up that we couldn't do it before the time that we did, but we are so glad that we did, you know. And as they say, we're not getting any younger, but, you know, I am certainly far healthier now than what I was sitting at my desk job, wishing and dreaming and watching YouTube videos going, oh, I wish I was there. I want to do this and do that and all these things. So, you know, I put in my 9 and 10 hours a day at work, and then I run out and get as much done as I can before it gets dark, because it's getting dark early now.
Yes.
And can I say this whole time, the whole time change?
Arizona, we don't change.
Right,
We stay the same.
we are stubborn people out in Arizona. We don't change, but here, you know, I wake up and I think I'm late for work because the sun's coming up. It's like, wait a minute, no, we're good. But then the sun's going down before I get off work, so it is really throwing me off. But
Yeah, we're not fans of the time change at all. Why? Nobody can tell us why. I know we're digressing, but it was the train schedule, then it was the school schedule, then it was the farming,
farmers,
right?
yeah.
So nobody can tell me exactly why we switch times, and nobody can tell me why we still do it.
and as far as the farming, I have not seen Bessie the cow checking her watch to be milked at 5 a.m. and
No.
changing the clock back. So
Yes. But
Anyway.
yeah, but just we really want to encourage you, check out Strategic Relocation, do your research, you know, and if this is a lifestyle you're dreaming about, you know, do what you can. We understand that, you know, it's sometimes things hold you up, but, you know, if you can do it, you know, it's the best decision we ever made.
yeah.
Yes, and one more caveat, we've talked about this before. If you do move to a place, don't go in thinking you're going to change it. Please please have the expectation of integrating. I'm not saying that places don't need to be improved, because we do know that there's always room for improvement. But don't go in and say, well, these are a bunch of, you know, hicks or hillbillies or whatever it is, and think that your way of life is far better than theirs and you know better, because I guarantee you don't. And I say this with love, because we came in here with no expectations. We wanted to live the life that we wanted to live, and we wanted to respect our neighbors and have them respect us. We never came in with the intention of trying to change anything. And there's been a lot of frustration and anger on the local people's parts, because people have come in thinking they're better than they are and trying to change their way of life. And many people have been here for generations. And like I said, I know we've talked about it before, but just if you're moving to another state, just be wary of their customs and traditions, and don't go in expecting that you're better, that you're going to change things. Because I guarantee you, if you go in just no expectations with an open, loving heart, I know not always, but most of the time I feel like you're going to get that back. So like I said, I say it with love. I don't mean to sound rude at all.
I'll be rude. You're not the Borg. You are not there to assimilate. You are there to assimilate into the culture and embrace it, because these are good people. They really, really are. So,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. Like I said, I meant with love. I don't mean to be rude. Just,
I'll be the bad cop. I'll be rude.
Okay.
Don't do it. No. All right, everybody. We really do appreciate you. We are still really, really close to 500. We lost a couple. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. But we lost a couple of subscribers, and that's fine. That happens.
Not everybody agrees with prepping.
No, not everybody agrees with prepping, or the fact that we throw some Bible verses in there. Maybe that turned them off, but
That's all right.
that's all right.
That's all right.
You know,
We have some amazing. We have, you know, I just have to tell you guys, like, we are so blessed. The comments that we receive and
Yeah.
the support that we receive from y'all, you are amazing. So we really appreciate you, and we know that you have better things to do with your time than watch us. So we're really grateful that you do watch us. So
not bad
Yes.
for a channel that started out just so we could show the family back home what we were doing. But we really do appreciate you. So
Yes.
if you are new, please subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. It does help us. Helps the YouTube algorithm, whatever magic they like to work. But you know, we are growing, and we appreciate it. So, but as always, please be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless. We will see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.
bye.